Hey there, Gemini. It's Keaghan. I hope that you have been doing well. It's good to be doing readings again. I have not been doing them for a while, but it feels good to be back in the flow with those. So I'm just going to shuffle these decks on camera for you guys so people who like to see the decks being shuffled and the cards mixed up can see that. I am going to put a graphic up really quickly here on the screen. I'm offering a special during the month of September. So 2 question readings are $50, 3 question readings are $75. That is a significantly discounted rate for my readings. I wanted to do something special during September, and that's what I decided to do. If you're interested in getting a personal reading with me, please send me an email, keaghantarot@gmail.com, and do that as soon as possible, because when I do offer personal readings, especially if I'm offering a discounted rate, I book up really quickly, and this is only, that offer is only good during the month of September. Now, with that said, I do also just want to say for those of you who are watching this video, I'm filming this at a specific point in time, but that does not mean that this reading ever expires. So if you find this reading months after I've posted it, or even years after I've posted it, if you feel that this particular reading has a message in it for you, feel free to watch this. The tarot readings do not expire. I think that is one of the most misunderstood aspects of tarot readings on YouTube. You can always go back to any reading if you feel drawn to it. The messages are going to be there for you if you feel that they should be. So this is for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising signs. These decks feel good. I'm going to move this deck off to the side here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my Oracle deck. I will do a couple of cuts and then do one final cut. Whichever card is at the top of that cut is going to be your Oracle card to kick off the reading, Gemini. Feels good. Take this one. And we will also do a card from the same deck at the end of the reading to close things up. So, Gemini, let's see what's going on for you guys. So this card says, my faith has the power to turn trauma into healing, conflict into growth, and fear into love. So, Geminis, let's talk a little bit about the energy coming off of this Oracle card first. While I'm doing that, I'm just going to be kind of messing with these cards a little bit. Not really trying to get anything to come out, but just want to see what's going on. So, Geminis, what I'm really feeling for you guys is you've been through a period of what feels like, from your perspective, I'm not saying this from mine, but from your perspective, it feels like you've been going through a period of being tested. This could mean that lots of things have been happening that have tried you in some way, that have tested your resilience, tested your strength. It could have been that you've lost a lot of things, whether those are financial losses. Some of you might have lost jobs, lost relationships, lost friends. For some of you, you might have actually literally lost someone close to you, meaning that there was a death or that someone has passed on. But it's very interesting because you are tuning into what at your core is your faith. Now, whether that means your religious faith or your spirituality, whichever that is for you is fine. We just had a card that flipped. I just want to peek at it. I'm not actually going to put it down. You have the 3 of Wands here. So yeah, that makes sense because that represents progress. This card is interesting because you're focusing on healing. You're focusing on healing things that have happened. This feels like within the past 6 months, maybe the past year, but probably within the past 6 months for most of you. There's been a lot. There's been a whole lot that's been going on, but you are leaning into your faith, the things that you believe in, the things that it doesn't really feel like you are leaning into a lot of other people. This feels like work that you're doing really kind of on your own. Not to say that there aren't people around you, but I feel like the people that are around you, you're not really opening up and sharing with them the things that are on your mind, the things that have happened, the things that are troubling you. You're not really turning to other people trying to get input or advice. It feels very much like work that you're doing inwardly. Okay. Just trying to see if there's anything else going on here. This does feel like you're having success. I feel like a lot of things internally, a lot of things that are going on inside of you, that you are unraveling and figuring things out. So congratulations on that. We will keep that card since it is hidden. I want it to come right out. I don't think there's anything else really for this card that I want to talk about, Gemini. So I'm gonna just go ahead and dive into this. I do just want to peek at the bottom of the deck since I stopped shuffling, see what's down there. You have the Queen of Wands. This is very interesting because, you know, that Queen of Wands is what I was talking about when I was talking about over here, where you are interacting with people, but I feel like the energy that you're giving off to those people is very much the Queen of Wands energy, where you know, you're utilizing your connections that you have with people to you know, be social, to have fun, to have activities, to have distraction. But a lot of the people that are engaging with you, they don't really know anything that's going on below the surface. The things that are going on with other people, you're deliberately keeping them a little bit on the surface and a little bit superficial, even though there is a lot that you are actually sorting through. So let's see what this card is. The Hierophant. So, you know, exactly my faith. The Hierophant represents absolutely 100% spiritual wisdom, religious beliefs, things that are tradition, things that are institutions. So that really is coming through super intensely. You're really approaching this from a point of view of utilizing either your religion or your spirituality as the tool to help you understand, to help you navigate things, to help you heal. And the end goal is not only healing things internally for yourself, so this notion of turning your trauma into healing, but it's also about learning more about yourself and growing, and then being able to look at things, and there is a long-term goal of being able to repair some things that have been damaged, repair some connections with people, repair things that you feel you want to focus on, if that makes sense. I think for some of you, you know, one thing that's coming through very strongly, and again, this might just be for a portion of you, but I do want to acknowledge it, is that there are some of you who have lost careers. You've lost, you know, something that you've worked for. And so what I'm getting from that is either you spent a lot of time focusing on education for a specific career, and then that career has now been, for some reason, you can't have that career, or you've spent a lot of time growing and developing a business or something on your own, and that has been impacted in some way. I feel like I lost my train of thought on that a little bit. That could have just been an acknowledgement. There's a little bit of a weird energy, I have to tell you, Gemini, and I meant to say this at the beginning, and it's, you know, I'm 7 minutes in, and I apologize, I might have lost some people, but if this particular reading doesn't make sense to you, please go watch the Aquarius reading, because I was going to sit down to do you guys, and then if you go and watch the Aquarius reading, you'll see I felt like maybe I shouldn't do Gemini, and I needed to do Aquarius, and decided to do that. But that entire Aquarius reading had a very Gemini tone and energy to it, to me. So if this is not making sense to you, please just go and watch that video instead. I think that might resonate more with you. But I'm going to just focus in on what's going on right here. So what else wants to come out for Gemini? Information, advice, insight, you wish to reveal to me for the sign of Gemini. Okay, we had two cards here. 10 of Cups and the Page of Coins. So let's talk a little bit about this 10 of Cups, because there's interesting energy coming off of this. You know, typically this represents a relationship, you know, sort of the apex of a romantic relationship, something that is, you know, potentially like a divine relationship. But what I'm actually getting from this, to be very honest with you, is that this is about your relationship with yourself. And there's also this connection, again, between your connection to your faith, whatever that is for you. It feels very much like that is where you are getting the most comfort. There's an alignment that I'm sensing between your needs, the things that you feel you need emotionally. They're being met not by another person or not through the pursuit of a relationship, but they're being met through your spiritual practice or your religious faith. Okay, so that's honestly what I'm getting from this particular thing. Now, this Page of Coins, for some of you, you could actually be like, you could actually be actively studying or exploring either spiritual teachings or religious teaching. Some of you might actually be pursuing like a going into a like, I feel like career is not the right word to say in terms of that, but I will say career of either being a spiritual teacher or being a religious figure in some way, some of you. But there is a notion of, it feels very devout. Your devotion currently is to your faith. There's nothing about this Ten of Cups in terms of the card itself that feels like it is romantic to me. And like I said earlier, when I do sense the energies of other people around you, it feels very superficial. Three of Wands coming out reversed here. Again, Three of Wands reversed is really about this is weird. This is weird energy. This feels, Gemini, like you are deliberately keeping your world small. And again, I don't sense like, isolating yourself. I don't sense that. I feel like you are actually interacting with each other. But it feels like your guard is up. Your guard is up against people who are trying to come in. And you're keeping, like I said earlier, you're keeping things very on the surface with people. You're not letting anyone get in close. You're not letting anything become too deep. The only thing that you are focused on in terms of something deep is turning inward towards yourself. You have the King of Cups here. This is interesting. Again, I don't think that this represents another person, to be quite honest with you. I know some of you are really going to want to push back on that because Ten of Cups, King of Cups, but I'm also picking up on the energy of this reading, right? So this feels like what you are trying to manifest for yourself. Okay, it's interesting energy for you, Gemini, because the King of Cups is someone who is very connected inwardly with their own emotions. They have figured out how to understand their emotions. Their emotions are very balanced. And I think that that is what you were really trying to seek out through working on yourself. There's lots of energy around working on yourself, working on understanding yourself, figuring out how you can heal yourself and heal the things that you know need to be healed because they're getting in your way. And there's almost this understanding on your part that you're not willing to invest in connections with people right now because you know that it's going to be the same story. It'll be the same story. It'll play out the same way until you have dealt with your own issues. I'm hoping that makes sense to you. It's like your energy is sort of like, what's the point? What's the point in opening up to this person or trying to get close to this person or trying to form a relationship, trying to have something romantic? Because I'm aware of the past trauma that I have. I'm aware of the healing that I need to do. I'm aware of the growth that I need to do. I'm aware of the fact that I often find myself in conflict in these relationships because of these things. And until I can clear those things, until I can figure out how to do that, until I develop my own skills, what I'm going to be in a connection with is a relationship with myself and a relationship with my faith, because I want to get to the point where I have that King of Cups energy myself. That's what's going on here. So I've switched decks here. Just gonna see what else wants to come out for Gemini. The other thing I will say, Gemini, just in terms of weird energy, is the Okay, so the High Priestess coming out reversed here. Again, that's just another card of when the High Priestess is reversed. It's two things I want to mention here. One is that the High Priestess can represent a place where you've disconnected from your own intuition. So what I do want to say is mostly specific to people who are connecting to more of a religious faith. Be aware that you're not excluding your intuition and intuitive guidance from religious faith, because they're not mutually exclusive. You can be Christian, Catholic, Muslim, Buddhist, whatever your religion is, and still trust and rely on your intuition. It's not something that is excluded from any religion. Now, for those of you who are not necessarily connected to a religion, but you're just focusing on your spirituality, you might have a blind spot in not listening or not being in tune to your intuition. So that's one thing with the High Priestess I want to mention. The other thing is that the High Priestess is just withdrawn and silent. She's not speaking. She's not sharing. She's not connecting. She's not willing to engage. It's a very quiet energy. And with the Hierophant, this again, it's just there's nothing here that feels like a connection. That isn't just like, friends, fun friends, not even like deep friends, fun friends. You have fun friends around you who you enjoy when you want to be around them, but you're not making any sort of big commitment. I have the Knight of Wands here. It's interesting because I feel like this is a bit of a future energy, because it doesn't necessarily match with what's been down here. So I want to talk a little bit about this, and then I'm probably going to spend some time clarifying this. So I'm just going to move this card over so I can have some room here to clarify on this card. So this particular card is really about a lot of energy, a lot of passion towards something, inspiration and action, taking action towards things. This card can also represent a bit of an impulsive energy. And what I feel like is that this is giving you comfort right now, this energy of sort of being on your own and focusing on developing yourself and trying to understand yourself. But there's going to come a point where it almost feels like, to use the analogy of the twins, like right now you've sort of aligned the twins on focusing on this, but at some point that twin that wants to just like be out, have fun, go and do what you want to do, there's a rebellion that sort of happens here. And it feels very much like this is something that you're going to have to, coming up into the future, there's going to be a bit of a battle between not quite having this work completed, not quite being done with this work over here. So I'm just going to, again, I'm moving these cards over because this feels like current energy, what you've been focused on. This is one side of things, okay? Then this comes in, and it's a battle between knowing you're not quite finished with this, but not wanting to focus on it anymore, wanting to go and focus elsewhere. So let's see what wants to come out around this. Clarify the Son of Wands for me, please, for Gemini. So you have the Seven of Wands here reversed. Yeah, this energy is really just about feeling overwhelmed and exhausted with something you wanted to give up on. It's what I was talking about. This becomes very taxing for you. Knight of Cups here, coming out reversed. I want to get some clarity around this Knight of Cups. I feel like this is your imagination sort of getting the best of you in this situation with this Knight of Cups. But this could also just be that, you get into a place where you're just, your emotions, you start to get moody, a little bit annoyed. King of Wands coming out here, upright, clarifying that. The King of Wands is really about a shift out from this internal. The King of Wands would be an external focus about setting visions, looking at what you want in the long term, setting goals and striving towards those goals and taking action. The King of Wands is very much kind of leader energy. It's interesting though, because I don't feel like this gets solved for most of you. I don't feel like this gets solved in the near future. So what I feel that this is saying is be cautious, Gemini, that you don't try to make moves and move out of this before you're actually done with it. Be sure that you complete this work and you actually feel like you've accomplished what it is, right? Make sure you have this King of Cups energy before you try to take this King of Wands energy forward and start to manifest and move into things. Don't allow yourself to just get to the point where this is heavy and this is boring and I've spent so much time on it and I just want to go do other things. If you want to break from it, take a break. But don't just say, well, I've done as much as I'm ever going to do with this and move forward, because that's not the right path for you. We go through this deck one more time. Is there anything else with this deck that wishes to come out for the sign of Gemini? So you have the Five of Swords coming out reversed. I'm going to switch decks because I want to see what's going on with this Five of Swords. You know, the Five of Swords reversed is about making amends, about letting go of resentments from the past. It's a card of reconciliation, of something coming back into your life and working on making that be something that is, you know, back being a part of what you actually possess. So I want to see what's going on with that, because I'm sure you'll be curious, and I'm curious what it is as well. Clarify this Five of Swords reversed. Why is it here? Why is the Five of Swords reversed here for Gemini? Ooh, that's a bunch of cards. I'm not going to take that huge stack. This is a new deck, and so it's really good. I like the deck, but it's just part of the process of getting the deck to respond to you. Six of Pentacles here coming out reversed, clarifying this reconciliation. So the Six of Pentacles reversed is a card that represents unpaid debts, or situations in which one side gave more than the other, or the return on the investment wasn't there. So for those of you who might be listening, if you have a situation with someone in the past where there was an issue in terms of feeling like you were giving more than you were getting back, or this person said they felt like they were giving more than you were giving, energies can be reversed. Part of what it seems comes from this work of yourself and leaning into your faith and really getting connected with who you are at your core and who you are as a person, and starting to move yourself once you get that emotional stability, once you start to move yourself. If you can avoid this temptation to just cut this work off and not deal with it anymore and actually carry this King of Cups energy in with you, then it does seem like there is this reconciliation that might happen with someone where you do make amends. It might be that it could be that this is actually what triggered some of this work, seeing something within this that made you feel like you really needed to focus on your own work. Okay, focus on you and developing yourself. It could be from this thing from the past, but I do feel like this card clearly is speaking of reconciliation. We do have, you can't see it yet because I'm still shuffling through, but we do have the Devil card reversed here. So, you know, I feel like this card is actually putting us at a place where we can kind of call this wrapped up, because this all is future energy, and this is where most of you are at right now, is in this work. The Devil card is just really a summation of what I was talking about over here, because the Devil reverse is about looking at limiting beliefs that you have, becoming aware of them, looking at those dark corners of your mind and your heart and your spirit, and actually shining light into those areas, being willing to explore the things that we typically will shy away from. Okay, so that's what this work over here is for you, Gemini. It's very interesting because this is this reading is very heavy in terms of the emotional content. It's a very heavy reading, feeling it energetically. but you don't seem burdened by it. You don't seem like you're being held back by it. It doesn't feel like it's for right now. This card is concerning to me. I will just say that again, because it feels almost like something about this might trigger you to want to like stop. And I just encourage you, don't do that. Keep doing this work, because there's a lot of potential good over here. There's just this middle place where it almost feels like a test of your will about whether you're going to be able to keep your focus on this growth and development that you've been doing. But it seems like you do, because ultimately on the other side of this, there's still this energy about focusing on those darker things. And I think that might be the realization that you end up having, Gemini, is realizing that this isn't a one-time thing. This isn't a one-time shot. That understanding, specifically through your faith or your spirituality, that we're constantly having to learn how to grow and develop and understand ourselves better. We're constantly having to put in that work. And I think that's this middle area of whether you get that, whether you understand that this isn't something that, oh, look, I solved everything. I fixed myself. I'm good to go. And now I don't ever have to worry about this stuff. I don't ever have to deal with this stuff again. I think that most of you will get to this point and realize, I can't just be distracted. I can't walk away from this. I actually have to put in the work before I can really move forward. There might be something that you need to heal, a connection with someone that you need to heal in order to continue moving forward. But you do move into this energy, which is a major arcana, so it's a very powerful energy of really going deep and starting to clear out some of those darker, heavier things. So let's go back to this Oracle card deck. Let's get one more card for you guys. Give me closing energy and advice for the sign of Gemini, please. Please give me energy, advice, guidance for the sign of Gemini. Go through one more time. If nothing comes out, I will just shuffle and do a cut for you guys. Okay, Gemini, let's see what your closing advice is from the Oracle deck. So this says, I find a deeper meaning and personal growth amid the discomfort. This is really good advice. This is what is here, right? Eventually this stuff is going, right now this feels good and you're happy with it. Eventually it's going to start to feel uncomfortable. Gemini, keep pushing through, because ultimately within that discomfort, that's where you find the deeper meaning and the personal growth that helps to propel you to this side. Gemini, I really loved this reading for you. I hope that you enjoyed it as well. Please take a moment if you did, if this resonated with you. I love hearing comments from people when I do the readings. Like and share the video. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, please take a moment just to hit the subscribe button so that you can join up with the community that's growing here. I'm at the time I'm recording this, I'm almost at 11,000 subscribers, which isn't a huge number on YouTube, but it's a huge number to me. I never thought that I would have that many people that are following me. So I hope that you will take a moment just to subscribe, and don't give up on this. I think there's a lot of potential for you to really deepen your understanding of yourself and to really be able to deepen the connections that you have with people on the other side of it. Okay. I'll talk to you soon, Gemini. Bye.